Hello dear viewers, welcome to this edition of the News in English on Rwanda Television with me, Serge Nhore. As always, we'll begin with the headlines. The bodies of 362 victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi have been accorded a dignified burial at the memorial site at Kibuza in Kamonyi district of the southern province. And on the international scene, President Joe Biden has said that he is blocking the proposed $14.9 billion acquisition of the American company US Steel by Japan's Nippon Steel. Now the details. I'm glad you're able to join us. The bodies of 362 victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi have been accorded a dignified burial at the memorial site at Kibuza in Kamonyi district of the southern province. Provincial authorities have stated that discussions are ongoing to encourage families with loved ones still buried in mass graves to transfer them to memorial sites for proper reburial. Following the genocide against the Tutsi, survivors often struggle to bury their loved ones, resorting to makeshift methods due to limited resources. However, later as Rwanda was rebuilt, better and more dignified burial practices were adopted. Kamonyi district authorities have noted that 3 memorial sites, that's Kibuza, Bunyonga and Mugina, are designated for relocating the bodies of genocide victims. The bodies interred on Saturday were previously buried at Bitsibo in Musambira sector, that's in Mukambura cell. Now to other matters, health this time, following reports from the Ministry of Health indicating that prolonged sitting is one of the main causes of non-communicable diseases. More Rwandans are vowed to do more physical exercises as a key resolution, that is, for 2025. We'll have the details with William Evans Mutabazi.
Dr. Robert Mugabo is a 76-year-old man living in Gachuriro, Kinyinya sector, Kasabo district. At his age, he has committed to a regular exercise routine, dedicating 2 hours to walking at least thrice a week. I exercise 3 to 4 times a week. I walk from Gachuriro to here and back, then take a shower and have tea. This makes me feel relaxed. At my age, if I don't take exercising seriously, I might end up getting weaker. So, I try to maintain my routine without fail. In addition to his exercising routine, Mr. Robert takes a keen focus on his diet to further enhance his health. Cannot give up exercising. It's something I will do continuously. In addition, I avoid alcoholic beverages and drink a lot of water instead. Because of this, I rarely fall sick and my hospital visits are very regular. People should learn from me, especially those in my age group, but also the young people who enjoy cars. Cars are very good, but find time to exercise so that your heartbeat is good. On the other hand, some of the young people have also committed to doing sports like never before this year in order to maintain good health. I am a soccer player and this gives me much joy. I do this out of love and with plans for the future. Exercising helps me maintain my body size and also keeps me healthy. My goal is to put more effort this year in this sport. I exercise by running. I run this track like 9 times. I do not get sick anyhowly. Sports can also be a source of income. Several known sportsmen and women are getting paid good money world over. Health professionals say that exercising is one of the ways people can prevent diseases, including non-communicable diseases such as high blood pressure, diabetes and cancer.
J'ai demandé à tout le monde de se lever quelques minutes parce que
I once asked people to take a few minutes to get up because sitting for long periods is a precursor to various diseases. Generally speaking, a person can spend 7 to 8 hours sitting in a day. Whether driving or working, many find themselves sitting. Even during breaks, they tend to sit. Some are often in meetings, and when you add up all those hours, it can total up to 12 hours. Some people get home and sit to watch television, then later go to bed. This is a concerning issue and is why it is at the forefront of causing non-communicable diseases. Therefore, changes must be made to prevent the health problems we see in children, adults, and in some medical practitioners, which were not prevalent 20 years ago. If we do not make these changes, a significant portion of the health care will focus on repairing or treating ailments that should have been prevented.
La réparation des dommages qui ont été causés par une longue durée d'exposition qu'on pouvait prévenir.
The Ministry of Health highlights that part of ensuring that the health of citizens is improved includes increasing the number of specialized medical professionals, like the 300 doctors trained by ICAD Center in minimal invasive surgeries. William Evans, Mutabazi, RTV News.
Thank you, William. Now, the Rwanda National Police has stated that it will not tolerate traffic violations by taxi motorcyclists, because such infractions lead to serious consequences, including the loss of lives. Some taxi motorcyclists have expressed concerns about the fines imposed for various traffic offences, stating that the penalties are heavy and become unmanageable when they fail to pay on time. In some cases, fines accumulate to over 300,000 Rwandan francs, leaving motorcyclists unable to settle their debts, while others have had their motorcycles impounded. Fines for traffic violations are levied over time, and those who fail to pay them properly, that is promptly, see their amounts increase significantly. Taxi motorcyclists have requested more designated parking spaces for motorcycles and immediate notification of issued fines. They have also called for leniency in payment arrangements when fines become excessive. The Rwanda National Police has emphasized that it will not tolerate traffic violations as they cause harm and endanger lives. The police spokesperson, ACP Boniface Rutikanga, stated that the primary focus should be on taxi motorcyclists avoiding offenses that result in fines rather than being preoccupied with the amount of the fines imposed. As of the end of September last year, the police had impounded over 2,000 motorcycles due to traffic violations, fraud, and other security-related offenses. Some of these cases are currently in court. Rwanda is estimated to have over 40,000 taxi motorcyclists, with more than 20,000 of them operating in Kigali city. Now on to another important matter. Teenage mothers advocates are urging parents to support pregnant teenagers to restore hope. Close observers of the lives of teenage mothers are calling on parents especially to support teenage girls who become pregnant, as failure to do so often causes them to lose hope in life. This comes at a time when data from the Rwanda Biomedical Center at the end of 2024 showed that 63% of teenage mothers experienced severe depression due to being abandoned by their parents. And Ola Gladys Venimana reports.
Testimonies of teenage mothers who became pregnant revealed that being abandoned by their friends and families had significant negative effects, including the risk of engaging in further harmful behaviors.
Iyo tudafashijwe na societe cyangwa ababyeyi.
Normally, when we are not supported by the society or our parents, we face many temptations. For example, if I had nothing to do as an occupation, I might be tempted to search for money through illegal activities, such as prostitution. However, I cannot do that now because I have something productive to do, which means that my life cannot be destroyed a second time. If I had nothing to do, I would face many temptations to do wrong things just to provide for my child, which might even result in getting pregnant as a second time. But now, since we have been sensitized and we are aware of the consequences, I cannot turn to prostitution to earn money because I can earn money on my own.
Iyo tabonye umuntu kuba hafi mu gihe uri muri ibyo bibazo.
When you don't have someone to comfort you in such a situation, you often find yourself negatively impacted. For example, you may struggle to accept your child and feel like every time you see them, you're reminded of the problems you face. You might even feel as though the child caused the problems, leading to difficulty loving them because of the circumstances in which you became pregnant. This is why, without someone to help you and reassure you that it's a normal part of life and that life goes on, you may find yourself falling into depression. Parents, on their part, believe that pregnant teenagers should be welcomed and treated well, even though accepting their situation may initially be difficult.
Umubyeyi atereranye umwana atwite rimwe na rimwe hari igihe umwana agera gutya akavuga wenda akanyarwa ngo agiye mu miryango.
When a parent abandons her daughter during pregnancy, the daughter may resort to abortion or abandon the baby as well. However, when you support your daughter instead of abandoning her, it makes her feel loved and see herself as a normal person. As a result, she is more likely to accept the pregnancy and raise the baby with care.
Ingaruka nyinshi cyane bamwe nakubwiye ko biheba abandi nabo ubwo bigenze gutyo bakabona utabita.
It has many negative impacts, such as depression for many and others resorting to abortion, which is harmful for their lives. As a parent, you should support your daughter instead of abandoning her. Rebejo organization, which supports teenage mothers, highlights that the first form of help these girls need is someone to listen to them. Marie Mediatrice Isabiriza, the director of the organization, emphasizes this point.
There is
nothing else you can do for them except to first listen to them to heal their hearts. Over the years, this has resulted in the healing of their hearts, and they can now collaborate with others freely. Previously, they were not like that because they would always stay at home, feeling uncomfortable with their life situation, unwilling to speak about their problems or even reveal who the father of the child was. But now they have fully healed. Research conducted by the international organization Interpeace in collaboration with the Rwanda Biomedical Center at the end of 2024 revealed that 15.3% of teenage mothers were expelled from their homes, while 71% were verbally abused by the parents. Some of them even considered suicide as a result. Enora Gladys, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Enola. Now, Rwanda's central bank has announced that all digital payment systems will be integrated this year, and transaction fees between digital money transfer platforms will be reduced. Meanwhile, citizens across the country commend the cashless payment and money transfer system, which has facilitated and increased access to job opportunities for many. Prince Manzi with the details.
The number of digital money transfer users continues to ameliorate in Rwanda, as affirmed by the central bank. This is what entrepreneurs share on the use of cashless payments.
Kugeza uyu munota amafaranga menshi tuyakira kuri code.
Currently, we receive most of our payments online on codes. So that is why we currently have 3 codes. We have the code of the bar, the code of the bar in the middle, and the code on the reception. And all of these are accompanied by POSs.
Abashobora gukoresha POS nabo bakoresha POS.
Ikoranabuhanga ni ryiza ricyo ridufasha cyane cyane bitworohereza kuba imicungire y'amafaranga.
Technology is good. It eases to monitor money as well as ease payments. Our company has more than 100 mobile money codes, so it is always easy to monitor money, and it benefits both us and our clients in payments. The cashless economy also benefited the youth through job creation. From 10,000 to 150,000, it's a 250 fee. The rest is 100 Rwanda francs fee. From 1,000 to 10,000 Rwanda francs. The transaction fee is not heavy. Economic experts affirm that the digital transaction fee is to always be monitored for this service to expand to all citizens.
Ntekereza ko cyane cyane banki nkuru y'igihugu ibishinzwe ibishyiraho amabwiriza n'amategeko abigenga.
I believe that the central bank has to make sure that the transaction fee should be low so that it won't burden users.
Uburyo ugura cyangwa ugurisha cyangwa wishyura atabyumva ko bimuremereye.
To continue to ease the implementation of the cashless economy, the governor of the central bank, John Gwangomga, affirms that there are programs in place favoring this process.
Buri mwaka tubona abakoresha iri koranabuhanga barimo bazamuka.
Annually, we see the increase of the cashless users, and as you know, you are required to pay using the telecom line you are paying to, MTN to MTN or Airtel to Airtel. Soon we will introduce the interoperability switch. You'll be able to pay to any line easily. The transaction fee, we believe that it will also be low. The 2024 Rwanda FinScope demonstrates that the transactional account uptake of bank and mobile wallet increased to 77%, approximately 6.2 million users in 2024 from 66% in 2020. The growth is attributed to the increased ownership of mobile wallet, whose proportion rose to 77% in 2024 from 60% in 2020.
Prince Manzi with that report. Now, in Rusizi district of the Western Province, the residents of Butare sector have expressed concerns about the state of the road connecting Bugarama and Geye through their area, highlighting the challenges it poses to their daily movements. They say vehicles often get stuck for days due to slippery conditions, causing disruptions. They have once again called for attention to this road, urging that it be improved to facilitate trade and economic activities. The issue is particularly pressing for traders in Butare, who explain that trucks transporting goods can spend days stuck on the road, leading to significant financial losses. While the road from Kamembe to Bugarama is paved, large sections of it are also in poor condition. Travelers using the Bugarama-Butare-Geye road report high transportation costs when hiring motorcycle taxis, as the poor road conditions make it challenging to find affordable and reliable transport with no passenger vehicles operating on the route. This has prompted calls for the road's rehabilitation. A section spanning 32 kilometers has already been paved, and the interim mayor of Rusizi district has stated that plans for the full rehabilitation of the road have been completed and that construction will begin soon, although no specific timeline has been provided. The Bugarama-Geye road stretches 67 kilometers and, once rehabilitated, is expected to significantly benefit residents, including those in Butare sector, by enabling them to transport various produce to markets more efficiently. It will also improve trade between Rwanda and neighboring countries in the region and reduce accidents caused by the poor condition of the road, which has already claimed 2 ambulances transporting patients that ended up in accidents themselves. Welcome back, and now international news. President Joe Biden has said that he is blocking the proposed $14.9 billion acquisition of the American company U.S. Steel by Japan's Nippon Steel. Analysts say the rejection of the deal could hurt relations with Japan, which is a key ally and trade partner of the U.S. VOA with the details.
The close to $15 billion acquisition of U.S. Steel by Japan's Nippon Steel would place one of America's largest steel producers under foreign control and create a risk for U.S. national security and critical supply chains, said President Joe Biden in a statement. After publicly opposing it for months, Biden announced Friday he was blocking the deal.
The president took action to block the deal to U.S. Steel U.S. Steel remains a proud American company, American-owned, American-operated by American union steelworkers, and the best in the world.
The White House did not explain how U.S. Steel's acquisition would jeopardize national security. However, the opposition to the deal by the United Steelworkers Union, based in Pennsylvania, a crucial swing state in presidential elections, may have played a role in Biden's decision.
This was clearly a political decision that President Biden had been chewing over for a long time. He is determined to demonstrate that he's going to protect American workers, and particularly in the steel sector.
President-elect Donald Trump, who is set to come to power on January 20th, also opposes the acquisition. Both Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel have vowed to pursue legal action, citing that the U.S. government violated procedures in considering the acquisition. Analysts warn it could damage relations with Japan, a key U.S. ally and trade partner.
Japan is a staunch ally in the Pacific. They have prowess in shipbuilding and in manufacturing, and so we need them, and so allowing them to invest in the United States would make us stronger.
The announcement followed other protectionist moves by the Biden administration. Last year, Biden tripled tariffs on steel imports from China. Patsy Udaguswara, VOA News, Washington.
Staying in the U.S., President-elect Donald Trump is promising to reverse Biden administration efforts to fight climate change and says he will grow the U.S. economy by drilling more oil. VOA once more.
Donald Trump campaigned on boosting U.S. fossil fuels.
We will quickly become energy independent, and we will frack, 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 and drill, baby, drill. We're going to drill, baby, drill, and frack, frack, frack.
Joe Biden's administration invested in building out the nation's electric vehicle charging network and worked with congressional Democrats to create a national service program on climate change as part of what Biden called a Green New Deal. Trump says that's a Green New Scam that he will end, along with electric vehicle subsidies and tougher gasoline engine emission standards. In his first term, Trump withdrew from an international climate treaty.
The Paris Climate Accord is simply the latest example of Washington entering into an agreement that disadvantages the United States.
Trump supporters in Congress say his commitment to oil and natural gas in a second term positions U.S. producers to capitalize on growing global energy demands without the limits of climate deals. Those changes may have less of an impact than they would have 10 years ago, says energy analyst Zara Ahmed.
The president has broad power to repeal through the regulatory process proposed and existing regulations, including for things like power plant emissions of methane, for vehicle emissions as well. However, at the same time, consumers can choose to purchase a low emissions vehicle. States can choose to enact their own regulations about emissions, as we see California do. So again, I think while the federal government is an incredibly powerful tool, that doesn't mean that we're at the end of climate action in the U.S.
The new administration has many reasons to remain engaged on renewable energy.
Most of those battery factories are built out in states with Republican governors, and they don't want those factories unplugged from their economies, and they don't want those workers laid off. They want this prosperity to continue.
Industry analysts say Trump's commitment to deregulating American business may end up helping renewable energy by speeding the permitting of new transmission lines. Scott Stearns, VOA News.
That report brings us to the end of this edition, but before we go, another look at the headlines. The bodies of 362 victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi have been accorded a dignified burial at the memorial site at Kibuza in Kamonyi district of Rwanda's southern province. And on the international scene, President Joe Biden has said that he is blocking the proposed $14.9 billion acquisition of the American company US Steel by Japan's Nippon Steel. I hope you're having a great weekend. Stay with Rwanda Television as the programs continue, and I will be seeing you soon again. Goodbye.